a big mistake women make is like women go to advice about men to their girlfriends. Go to advice about men to your guy friends. And also don't go to your single girlfriends for advice about being in relationships. Go to your married friends.
Yeah, well, I mean, all of your single friends want Tequila Tuesdays to keep happening, which means that, even if they're not aware of it, and even if they're fantastic friends, there is a part of them that thinks it's kind of like there's this idea in the black pill incel world of ascending, and ascending is becoming a viable mate for women, and maybe even getting it into a relationship. And it's very heavily discouraged because if one of the guys within a group that are supposed to be genetic dead ends that have no hope does do something that creates a pain of, oh, well, this could happen to me. And as soon as you believe that this could happen to me, maybe the reason it's not happening to you is your fault. Maybe it's not determined already. And it's kind of the same with the singleton thing. Like if you're going to go and ask for advice about intimacy with someone who never really seems to be intimate with anyone, they're going to, first off, not have a particularly fantastic perspective, I don't think, unless they're unbelievably incisive. But secondly, there's going to be a little bit of a perverse incentive that they don't want their friend to start to pull away from them.
So interesting. I'm going to give you the advice that makes what I'm doing seem like a good idea.
And also keeps you as a compatriot so that we can both continue to do this together. We're the sisterhood, like, girl, you don't need him, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, well, maybe that is, maybe that's true. But like, if you are unable, guy or girl is unable to get yourself a partner or unable to find friends, like, no, dude, you don't need that friend anymore. It's like the subtext of that is you can hang out with me. I'm your people.
When I was, I don't know, gosh, I was probably my late 20s and I dated I'm only saying what he does for a living because it might make people like, it'll make you understand why I took it so well. Professional athlete, great at what he does. I just think a lot of times professional athletes, they can't, there's not a lot of room for emotion to be involved. It's either true or it's not true, or you're going to get your neck broken, And he, dated a lot of, could date whoever he wanted or sleep with whoever he wanted. And I remember I was just in my arrogance and in my like, we were like arguing about something. And I was like, well, like, why would you date me if like I'm the person you date if you want like a challenge? And he just went, why would any man want a challenge in their relationship? And it was like, I was like, thank you so much for saying that. Because I guess I grew up watching parents fight, watching
conflict is love.
Conflict is love. I guess that's what I saw. I guess I thought it was sexy. I guess I thought men wanted it.
This is what passion is.
Yes. I don't know what I was thinking. And I literally in that moment was like, oh my God, I'm so like, I don't know what I thought it was like hot to you. I thought it was like what guys wanted. I thought it was like feisty. Like, I apologize.
Well, especially if you're dating somebody that is high performing in any realm, has goals. If you're working that hard in the office, you really want to come home and be like, right, there's that to-do list done. I wonder what fires I need to fight when I step through the front door as well.
And now I'm kind of at this point where it's like, I'm good at business. I'm really good at what I do. I love the idea of being with a man where I can be like, how can I help you make your, like, how can I be your business partner? Like your silent business partner, whether it's like, I can have dinner waiting for you. I can pack.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson probably needs a second one of those.
Look, this is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
They probably, state of California, woman, though, she gets half for after 10 years in a day.
Strange if he did, even with a prenup.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. You'd be surprised how few people have prenups. I mean, remember.
He's got that fucking whatever it is. What's his, is it rum?
Emotional support. Oh, his rum brand.
It's like tequila or rum or something.
Something.
And I
heard he might run for office too.
I'd vote for him.
Because that's another thing is like I'm into that ride or die. How can I make your dreams come true? Like I've made my dreams come true. Like I'm into that kink of like, how can I make your dreams come true? Like, can I?
Being in service is cool, especially if it's, and this is something that we spoke about before as well, like not doing it coming from a place of desperation. I want to make your dreams come true or make your life better because I think it'll make you love me. But there's almost something extra sexy or seductive about somebody putting their nature, especially their public-facing nature, to one side in order to do something that seems opposite or different to that privately, because it seems like the love that you have for me is causing it's so strong that you're having to overcome something that you do publicly. You know, it's the same reason why the high-powered male lawyer wants to be tied up and spanked by the dominatrix, right? It's the polarity of the life that makes it interesting.
Yes.
And that's the difference between coming at it from a place of desperation and weakness, like, I want to do this because I think it's the only way that you'll love me, versus I am fine on my own and I'm okay with being independent and I have all of this stuff going for me and I still want to, you know, be the homemaker, build a family, do the whatever. And it's the same for that's why like the Chad to dad pipeline is so alluring, I think, to women. It's why so many stories, all of the dark romance novels are about a man who has everything, who is completely independent and ruthless and domineering and prestigious, and is softened over time by the right woman because his love for her pulls him in. And it's the same as a beautiful friendship story, right? There is a friend who struggles to connect, but you see something in them that's amazing, and then you become friends together. And do you know the Michelangelo effect? Do you know what this is? Fucking brilliant. So it's a psychological effect that describes how over time two people, often in a relationship, will craft each other into the idealized version of what they want. So I make you more like what I want and you make me more like what you want, and I am happy to become more like what you want and you are happy. And the reason it's called the Michelangelo effect is you can imagine Michelangelo looking at this huge block of marble, and from the outside it's rough hewn, but over time he chips away and creates the statue of David. So he sees inside of something which isn't perfect, the perfection that he wants, and over time is able to craft this thing out of it.
This is something that's making me think of something I think that actually would be helpful to people, and is I feel like when you're in a relationship with somebody and there's things that you want to change about there's this new thing now where you just can criticize your man or criticize your person, or someone comes home and it's like, yeah, so you're just going to walk in the door and not say hi and da-da-da. And this is where my having more intimacy in relationships with animals than humans actually comes in handy, where positive reinforcement is pretty much, I believe, the only thing that works. And I think that I'm not seeing it on either side right now with men or women. So if like your girl comes home and she's rough or she's going out with her friends too much, whatever it is, just experiment with like, just say, instead of getting in a fight about it, like, just, you know what I love? Like, I love when you come home, I come home and you're here and you're like on the couch and you're barefoot. It's just the sexiest thing in the world to me when I like come home and you're here, you know, and like kiss her on the forehead and just see if anything changed. Same thing with my girlfriends are like, and I just told him that he needs a fight. And I'm like, are you insane? You can't talk to people like that. You know, this isn't like you're not in a fight on the fucking subway. This is your man. Just tell him like, you know what? I love it so much when you like, I don't like that he wears this thing. When he wears the other thing, just tell him how hot it is and suck his dick. Why is this so hard to understand? And you can't wear those fucking Crocs around. When he wears the other shoes, just suck his dick.
Yeah.
And tell him how much you love the shoes.
Yeah.
And kiss him and it's over, you know? So I just think that we're not doing enough positive reinforcement. I think maybe it's this like perfectionism generation, or maybe we're all standing up for ourselves and I'm going to make a boundary and I'm going to tell you all the things that I don't like because I'm going to be authentic and da-da-da. Omissions are not lies. You know, I just think that for every criticism we have, it's just like just try positive reinforcement. Try that. You know what I love? I love when your phone is off and I just get to
as opposed to, why do you always have your phone out on the table? It always makes me so annoyed.
That's it. Don't even say that one. Just when there's no phone out, take that opportunity to tell him how great it is. Like this to me is about like, that's what it means to be soft, I think. To just like bite your tongue, shut your whore mouth. You don't have to just be roasting your man all the time. I mean, I see it, and there's certain rules to me that I live by in relationships now. It took me a while to learn, but you never gossip about your man. Ever. Ever. If there's a texting with some other girl, you don't tell any of your girlfriends. You take it to a therapist, you take it to a 12-step meeting. Like, don't ever gossip about your person. Don't ever make fun of your person in public. I see people a lot, like that women that don't understand why relationships aren't working. And then you go out on a double date and they're like, cause he fucking can't get on. And you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you're embarrassing your man in front of a bunch of people, you know? And so I see this stuff, and as someone who's a female comic, you would think that, you know, that's not how I am in relationships in the slightest. And I think that we're just like getting a little too comfortable. You know, I did this movie that was based on a book called The Female Brain. And I met with this female neuroscientist, and I said to her, I was just like, what's the main advice you have for me? Like, if I leave here knowing one thing today about the difference between the male and the female brain. And she just went, your girlfriend is not your boyfriend.
What did you mean by that?
Don't treat them the same. So if you want to talk about how ugly the bridesmaids' dresses were at Marcy's wedding, call your friend Lydia. Don't call your boyfriend about it. You know, just like be a little more cautious about the stuff that because then you come home and you're like, can you believe what happened at work? And she was wearing this blouse and the guy's just like, good. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you don't listen to me. How come you're not paying attention? You don't want to hear me talk? It's like, this isn't a subject.
Dude, you're boring.
You're fucking boring, dude. Call your girlfriend. So it's like, to me, it's always a big red flag when girls don't have girlfriends, because that means you're going to have to hear all the boring ass shit. So like girls, know what to take to your girlfriends and know what to take to your guy friends or to your boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a really important thing that a lot of girls don't do. They expect their boyfriend to be their girlfriend. You're not going to come to fucking Nordstrom with me and hold my purse while I change. That's not the man. That's not my guy, you know, and don't make your guy do shit like that. You know, I just think that like, you know, little things like that, I think make a really big difference. And if you are doing that, chances are you might not respect the person and that's not the person for you. And I think people really forget about respect. It's like, I'm attracted to him and he's smart and he has this, but do you respect him? Because if you're going, I want you to spend your Saturday sitting on a fucking velvet puff at Nordstrom while I try shit on, unless it's like a fun, kicky sex game, that's a different thing. But like, that's not respect. You don't respect your man.